Hey folks, this is the Studio 48 partnership. This is Todd Waller.
Sarah Maddock.
And Jeffrey Post.
Hey, and today we've got a question for you that we think you might want answered. At least it's a question we frequently get, or at least walk through frequently as we work with sellers, right?
That's right.
What is
and
that again?
question is, how long is it going to take to sell the house? From the time that I sit down with the realtor to the time that I'm walking away from the closing table, how long is this process going to take?
One of the first things that we do is sit down actually kind of with a process map, because the first question you want to ask is there an urgency to sell the house?
Right.
Maybe somebody's being relocated very quickly and the timeline needs to be shortened up. So once we understand that, we can set in motion certain things that we need to look at when we tour the house. Are there updates that need to happen? Is there painting that needs to happen? Some people think of staging a house as actually bringing furniture in. I always say staging a house is oftentimes putting things away. We all have things to put away, right?
Right. So there's an initial consultation that takes place, and sometimes I'll go back to a house, I don't know about you, once or twice, you know, just to kind of follow up and go, okay, you've gotten this far, let's do this, let's do that. So that part of this process can vary a lot depending on if your house is already show perfect, it's ready to go from day one, or is there a lot of work that we need to do. So that's kind of a variable there. But from that point, we would get ready to take the professional photography, professional videography. Now, we can just walk into the home with an iPhone camera and snap some pictures and do it, and we see this all the time,
We do.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
Our process as our studio is to, like I said, hire a professional photographer, professional videography, whatever the property demands as far as our marketing goes. That does take a couple of days. We want to be ready to go. We have to coordinate everybody's schedule, and then it takes the photographer a couple, 2 to 3 days to process the photos, to edit them, to upload them in the website. While that's happening, we're behind the scenes working on ad copy, social media platforms, all the other marketing materials, the portfolio that we're going to use to market the home once we get those photos back. And then once we have all of that, it's time for...
We call it the MLS launch.
Right.
So the fun part in our day, if you will, in the given week when we've got a home that's coming to the market is launch day. So now we've got all of the digital marketing materials together. We've got the photos, we've got the virtual tour, we've got the video. We put it all together. We enter that profile sheet into the multiple listing system. You may have heard it as called the MLS, call it the real estate database, whichever you call it. It's the database which feeds all of those websites out there, Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, Homes.com. We're entering your information and the digital marketing into that particular platform to launch. So now we've had the consultation. We've had the digital photos and video squared away. Now we've had the MLS launch. How long are we going to be on market at that point in time?
If we're selling it, it takes a day, right?
If we're selling it, it takes about a day, right?
That's right.
But it's really important, as Todd says, when we hit go, everything hits go.
Right.
Our printed media, our online media,
Yep.
we set it all up so there's nothing missed. It's all going out at the same time. From there, it really depends on whether they're cash offers or financed offers. Cash offers, because there's not an appraisal process or an underwriting process, can take a shorter amount of time.
Yep.
Generally, within that time frame, you're going to have things like attorney's review of title and inspections. So you're going to be sitting outside of probably 21 days at a minimum with a cash offer if somebody's really urgent. But otherwise, with a typical lender, it's going to be 30 days to maybe 45 days.
Right. So, you know, how long it takes to get the offer, we're in a seller's market in the Ann Arbor area. That could be one day, it could be about 2 weeks. Obviously, when we do that initial consultation, we'll talk to you about your house, your price point, your location, all of which impacts what we expect the timeline for getting the offer is. But that's basically it. We've got initial consultation, prepping the house for sale, getting the marketing materials ready, MLS launch day, showing the home, and obtaining the offer. So from start to finish in a typical transaction, if you counted on 60 days from the time that we first came to your property to the time that you are walking away from the closing table, if you think about 60 days, you're probably give or take a couple of weeks on that mark.
That's accurate.
Yeah. So anyways, thank you so much for listening. This is Studio 48 Partners in Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Snyder and Company Realtors, and we would love to come to your home, talk to you about your timeline and your home selling goals this year.
If you have any questions at any time, you need to reach us for any reason. Sorry, sir, I'm going to push you this way. here is where you reach us. Hello@studio48.com.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.